first. Oh,
we
there we
did
go.
it again.
There we go. There we go.
Sorry. Here's what it is, guys. We put ourselves in the like backstage when the thing goes on, because otherwise there's like 0.3 seconds that you can see us doing whatever random thing we might be doing at the beginning of the show. And sometimes we forget to unbackstage ourselves. But what's going on? How's everybody doing? Shout out.
Good. What's up, Fozzie? What's going on?
Yep. What's up, Fozzie? Fozzie's first. What's up, my dude? Fozzie, sir. All right. So, I like your title, and I've been basically living under a rock all day long. So I've got this new little gig, and it required me to basically be bent over on all fours with a jackhammer from 7 in the morning today until 5 in the afternoon. So my back hurts. But needless to say, I did not check the market, and I have this habit of not paying attention to what Trump says, because he often says something that everybody responds to immediately. And so the way that I take it is I always say, well, Trump says all kinds of stuff. So if it's important, I'm sure I'll find out about it. So anyways, I guess it was important. And Trump's doing 104% tariffs on China. That was the first thing.
Tonight at midnight, they go into effect. He just signed the executive order.
That's so crazy. Yeah, that's so crazy. I was just absolutely flabbergasted. I took an Epsom salt bath, took an ibuprofen, laid down, cried a little bit, and then I walked downstairs, and my parents are watching the news, and they're like, Trump's 104 tariffs crashing the market. It's all going to zero. And I was like, oh my goodness. It's all going to zero. Right. I mean, it looks like it. I mean, how many times? Well, okay. We'll just say since we did the show.
Go ahead.
Since we started the show, how many times have we seen the stock market go down 5% multiple times in a row?
Right.
This is crazy. Right. I will say it's crazy. But
yeah, I don't know. One thing. So if this 104% tariff actually goes into effect, there are probably going to be thousands of businesses that go out of business overnight.
I can think of one. And it was already starting to go out of business. But I will tell you, Dollar Tree, dude. The Dollar Tree, 100%, it's dead. Yeah, it's 100% dead because everything in there is Chinese. And, things aren't even $1 anymore. They're $1.25, $1.50. You know what I mean? You can't sell things for $1 anymore. Now, you have to import them for $2 to sell them for $4.
Well, not to mention that I think it'll wreck the Chinese economy worse than it'll hurt us, for sure. Because they're not going to be able to sell to anybody. We're like the biggest importer in the world. We may not be the biggest, but we are definitely in the top 2 or 3 biggest importers in the world. We buy from everybody. Americans consume everything. I have a house full of shit that is anecdotally proven.
Well, see, but what I would say though about China is very different. Is I believe that it is risky because China can change the entire structure of its economy like that. All it takes is for the person at the top to be like, hey, we're going to do this now. And then everything changes. And, oh my gosh, Desert, I swear to goodness. I'm not going to say it right now, but you cut that out, sir. Desert has a habit. He has a habit of not listening to me, no matter how many times I tell him the same thing. It's crazy. But how's your day going, Desert? We'll say before the last hour.
My day's going all right. My day's going all right. I
What are you
can't.
doing?
I can't complain. It's nice. It's sunny. I mean, work sucks. My neck hurts, but it's nice. It's sunny. Market's crashing. What could be better, right?
What I'm excited about with my job is that my boss told me that what we've been doing has been the hardest, most labor intensive thing that they've done since he had his company. And it was just a job that went wrong. So he
Right.
said, it's never like this. If you can get through this, then you can stay and work for me forever. I said,
Forever.
oh, great. Great. We'll be doing
That's
a
how I.
posse.
That's how I feel about my company. I am going to be there forever.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
I'm
I was
gonna
like,
die
yeah,
with
man,
a
just
light
teach
fixture
me
in
what
my
I'm
hand.
trying to learn, and then that's it. Like I told
Right.
him, I just want to learn epoxy flooring. Random,
Right.
but I want to learn. He said it was cool. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and see what's going on with the market because I bet it's not good.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? We're gonna check it out, but are you sure you want to look at the market?
I just want to know. I haven't looked at it all day. Let's see.
All right, all right. And
Oh,
what are you doing? What you
I
doing?
messed it up. I was
There
trying to
we
fix
go. There we go.
it. I didn't fix
Was
it.
that say one good trade in Desert is out? Well, there's a story to that. I think I am going to quit trading for a while.
Interesting.
I don't have the time. I just don't have the time. The market's so volatile. It's so crazy. I don't have the time to sit there and stare at the charts, to look at the charts. And it's just, I spend, well, maybe not cold turkey. Maybe not cold turkey. You know,
He's
and I
still gonna
might
do a
still
little
trade every
trading.
now and again. But with the kind of market that's going on and everything like that, you know, it's manipulating my time and I'm not getting the returns to warrant the time manipulation, if that makes sense.
Also, I would say that right now is a unique macro like environment. So it's kind of like no matter what the charts and stuff are saying, there are things going on in the world that are pretty suspect right now.
Yes, we do just need a good trading bot.
Yeah, we're about 2 months away. It's almost here. It's almost here.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
And it'll work on decentralized exchange when we get it.
Yes, that'll be nice.
That will be nice.
Well, let's go over the market real quick. Let's see how poor we all really are. We are down 5.4%.
Oh
coming
my
in at
god.
2.5 trillion. 2.5. Wow.
I
We got
remember it was
125
just like a couple I remember it was just like maybe a month or so ago when it went below 3 trillion and I said,
Right.
"Dang, I didn't think that it was going to go below 3 trillion for the rest of the market." And then here we are at 2.5. That's
3
crazy.
trillion was a heavy support level, and it is no longer. Yeah, Daniel's broke too. So we're coming in at 125 billion in trading volume, 60.5 on Bitcoin dominance, 7% on Ethereum, and ETH transactions are free because apparently nobody has any money to send any money. So Bitcoin coming in at 76,293, down 3.8% today. Ethereum at 1462. Oh my goodness, down 5.9%. So if I'm not mistaken, 1440. Oh, Bitcoin's crashing right now. So this ain't even the proper data. Yeah, I see that up there. I see that up there on my other tab, 75.6. Let's refresh this real quick. It's just not, no.
Oh my gosh, but still now down from
Right.
2.5 trillion.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's, you figure CoinGecko is it's an aggregator of all the exchanges. So it's going to be different on different exchanges. But Ethereum at 1459, if I'm not mistaken, Ethereum's all-time high in 2017 was like $1,400 8 years ago.
That's crazy.
8 years ago. So we have dropped down. Wow, that's so crazy. XRP at 177 coming up 5 points, down 5.6. BNB at 549 down 1%. Solana at 104 down 3. Tron moves into the 8th position at 2289 down 0.1. Doge at 1407 down 5.1. And Cardano at 5526 down 5.4. Let's find SWI out of the top 20 at 191 down 5.3%. So looking at the 24-hour, wow, that's it. KuCoin, Leo, and Dexy. Those are the only ones that are up. And KuCoin is up about 2.9. That's crazy. What's this? And then BlackRock's Biddle Fund. Institutional. Oh, it's their USD.
I've been trying to find out what they actually hold in the Biddle Fund. Like, I wanted to know because it's kind of interesting, but I was doing research and it's hard to find out.
It's just, so the Biddle Fund is just, I think it's just like, it's an intermediary on RWAs.
Yeah, but so they have something.
It's an easy way for people to cash out.
Yes.
It's a quick way for people to cash out, if I'm not mistaken, is the Biddle.
But they have, oh wait, so it's just like $1.
Yeah, and this is a USD. This is a stable coin right here. It's a stable coin.
Got it.
So, biggest losers, we got EOS down 14.2, Near down 10, Sonic down 9, Algo down 8.7, Uniswap down 7.8, Shiba down 7.5, Polkadot down, Ondo down, everything is down. It is just a sea of red. And just real quick, we are going to pop over here. We're not going to go through the charts yet, but look at that. Everything is bleeding. 75, 477, 1428. Look, ADA down to 54. SWI at 189. XRP, look, just bleeding. Down 1% in the past hour and 15 minutes. Down 3, down 2, down 2, down 2. Yeah. And TradFi. Let me refresh. Pre-market down 529 points. Wow. Let's look at Asia real quick. I bet Asia's dumping. Yep. You got the index down 1.6% and the Nikkei down 3%. Wow. What's that say? Route of 12%. Yeah. We are crashing. We are going to zero. But hey, if you guys love crypto, if you love going to zero, do us a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and notification bell. If you're on X, tag some DGens, give us a repost, all that good stuff. We go live Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. PST, bringing you that daily news nightly.
Absolutely. So now let's get a word from our sponsors. And, join us at Rare Evo, the top blockchain conference, August 6th through 10th, 2025, at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. The top blockchain projects like Algorand, Midnight, HBAR, ICP, Thorchain, and Igon, and many more are going to be there. This is definitely a must for blockchain enthusiasts and fans. Use discount code CryptoNightly to save on your tickets and to support the channel. Don't miss it. We can't wait to see you there. It's going to be a blast. All right.
Yes.
And I should have
if we can all afford to go to. I mean, I live right next door to Nevada, and I don't even know if I'm going to be able to afford to go to Vegas now. It's crazy.
It is pretty crazy. Yeah, but shout out to Rare Evo. It's a blast. Definitely should recommend it to everybody. And why would you pay more when you could pay less? I wanted to put a little bit of light-hearted humor into the space right here. This is my favorite. We know that I love.
Full God in the sky, release me from this pain. Release me from this suffering. Send the tariffs to zero and let the markets moon once again. Let the rates be cut. Let the equity soar. And let crypto be great once again.
Yeah, we know that I love Gabriel Hain, but this just cracked me up, so I had to share it. He's great. And then I thought this was interesting for everybody that's in the Cardano ecosystem. I really love Theodore Cardano Chef Pool. Really cool dude. I had an awesome interview with him, so you should check it out in Empire Interviews. We talked about palm economy, and so he said that he's been holding ADA since the first second that it hit the Bittrex exchange about 7.5 years ago. He's been watching from the sidelines with everything that has been happening with the politics between IO and Cardano Foundation, to the politics within governance. He's chosen not to share his thoughts because he wants to channel his energy on positive things, such as building palm economy and actually real world adoption and use cases for our ecosystem. I'll say this for now. Things are getting very concerning with how entities, projects, individuals are doing and presenting things. I think we've lost our goal vision, which is to support each other, help each other grow all together, and bring solutions to people in need and change their lives for the better. I'm not sure if I want to start being more vocal because that will bring more drama in my life. But I feel bad for others that have put their neck on the line. So far now, I'll stop my rant here. I thought this was an interesting statement from him because I haven't heard any public statement about what's going on from him.
Right.
And so this is interesting. And then there's people that are like Daniel Friedberg or Friedman. I can't remember the way that, but anyways, the other founder of Palm Economy, and he is way more vocal. So Theodore is not that vocal. So this was an interesting thing to come out. So it makes me wonder what has been going on behind the scenes that was like worth commenting on, even if, you know what I mean? It would be hard to have a project in the Cardano ecosystem with the community the way that it is, and then be super outspoken without some kind of drama or backlash, you know? So I get it. You want your project to succeed. You don't want to be fighting with people, right, that will tarnish your project. But anyways, I thought this was interesting. Nothing. But I'm supposed to go to Costa Rica in June. Shout out to Crypto King. I hope that it is a blast. Costa Rica is dope. You're gonna have to work at McDonald's until then, right? But anyways, I got some articles for you guys. I wanted to share these because I think that they're relevant. First of all, I guess we should talk about the tariffs, since this was one of the biggest things all across the news. But why AMD stock is sinking after opening with big gains? Okay, so this was basically huge holders of AMD getting their exit liquidity. The reason AMD stock is crashing, along with a lot of other chip producers, is because a lot of chip parts come from China. So when you have these tech-heavy companies, we don't build a lot of the parts, right? So this is the reason, right? I checked this article out, but AMD was a huge surprise. It also got downgraded as the concerns about China tariffs heat up. And so this is like they put grades on stocks, and so the stock got downgraded. AMD was one of the premier stocks for the longest time. It's a titan of the tech industry, and everybody that has like a high-end computer, a lot of times they use the AMD chips, right? So that was interesting. This was kind of like a fallout that I didn't expect. When I heard the Chinese tariffs, I didn't think it would affect these tech companies, but it definitely did. And then I thought this was
Apple's down like
interesting.
600 billion.
This
Are you there?
600 billion.
Yeah, Apple's down like
absolutely.
600
Well, they
billion.
were still
Everything's
saying
getting
that despite the fact that getting absolutely devastated. So 3 buy-rated stocks being defended as tariffs fear rip through the markets. They basically were saying here that Charles Schwab and then Railroad Operators Union Pacific caught an upgrade to buy at Citi. Okay, so like Citibank upgraded them.
You're not showing any of that.
I'm not. Oh, well, that would be why.
There we go.
IBM is another one. I'm not. My internet is less good in the United States. Who'd have thought? But yeah. So IBM, and they were saying Charles Schwab and Union Pacific Railroad Operators, which was surprising. I didn't expect those. I expected because they do good if the price is going up or down. And then, yeah, they trade both ways of the market. Watcher Guru, we like looking at these because we don't always agree with them. But so this article, shill article, we love it. Invest $500 in these 3 altcoins to turn it into 500K. I thought that since the market's down, everybody would be interested to know what these 3 altcoins are. This is not an endorsement of these altcoins, but we're going to talk about it. So, Chainlink, bridging smart contracts with real-world data. This one I actually agree with. I don't think that you're going to turn $500 into 500,000, but I think Chainlink is definitely a safe bet. We see these massive integrations across like major infrastructure with the New York Stock Exchange. There is legislation that is trying to make Chainlink the like king of proof of reserves. And with all of the stablecoin wars going on now, I think that is a huge opportunity. So I do like Chainlink. And then Polkadot. We disagree strongly with this. I don't know. Like, of course, Polkadot enabling cross-chain interoperability. We don't talk about Polkadot on this channel often. So the fact that it was in this article, we mentioned it. But then Solana, high-performance blockchain for dApps. We like Solana, but it stops. I don't know why people would choose Solana over Sui. Even though Sui has stopped, it's not stopped like, I don't know how many times the Solana stopped, but many times.
Right.
And
you don't get failed transactions and all that stuff too.
Yeah, you don't have 70% failed transactions on Sui.
Right.
So what would you say are your like 3 top high conviction plays, right? We both would probably agree that Sui would be in the top 3 for this cycle. What would you say maybe other 2?
So Chainlink. So first of all, this article, none of those coins are going to 1,000x. None of them.
Yeah. None of them.
500 to 500,000 is 1,000x. None of them. None of them are going to 100x. You know what I mean? That's not going to happen. But oh yeah, and look, speaking of that, so Daniel's DCA and back into SWE. Well, guess what, John? SWE under $2.
Ooh, let's get it. That's
Let's
where
get
my
it.
paycheck's going.
So high conviction plays, SWE, ADA.
You gonna say XRP?
What's that?
Are you gonna say XRP?
I'm thinking XRP.
Because that's the one that came to my mind also, but it just feels too obvious. Like,
Right,
you know what I mean?
right. I don't know right now.
And
SWE, ADA,
Bitcoin
Bitcoin.
Max,
SWE,
say
ADA,
it's a
and Bitcoin.
SUI, ADA, and Bitcoin. I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's not going anywhere.
Right.
All of this trade war stuff is probably going to end up in a Bitcoin trade war. Think about it. You know?
We're going down, down, down in a ring of fire.
Desert's there looking at charts. You know
Yep.
it. So this was interesting. Meta releases the much anticipated Llama 4 models. This article is commenting on whether they're amazing or not. I think that that's an opinion. But I will say that Llama 3 was pretty awesome. And I'm excited to test out this Llama 4 update. So like if you have been up on the AI stuff, Grok 3 has been awesome. And it's interesting. Right, so Grok had the deep think, so you could do the deep research or deep think, and then it would tell you what it was thinking, and it would do like super deep research, check a bunch of sources, and all this kind of stuff. Well, now Gemini has the same thing, so like everybody else is catching up. Can you imagine? So I think Llama is going to be cool. I think really until we have what OpenAI says that they're going to be rolling out in the next update, which is the AI operator, where like if you wanted tickets like for a trip, you could have it actually book your tickets and do everything. I think that I'm not really that impressed with AI until it can actually like go do the tasks that I send it to do. Right. And then so Llama 4, this is cool. But I am
What is
not.
that? I don't know what Hidden Road is, Third Patriot.
You know, it was the first result, and this came out 12 hours ago. So, did you put his coming up?
The Global Credit Network for Institutions.
Oh no, this is Bloomberg. Okay, let's try again. Business Wire.
Ripple agrees to acquire Prime.
Oh, this is
they're
on Cointelegraph too.
Okay. There we go.
Okay, so Prime is like, isn't that similar to a
prime broker is what like hedge funds use for leverage and stuff like that. So they're like there's multiple prime brokers. You know what I mean? Not just one. You know, a prime broker in the loosest explanation is basically somebody who gives leverage to hedge funds and gives them money to trade with and stuff like that.
Yes. It's a set of services offered by large financial institutions to investment clients. As a prime broker, the financial institution acts on behalf of the client to complete investment transactions for the client. A brokerage offers a variety of services operating in all parts of the financial market. Interesting. So this is big. In the sense that Ripple is really trying to become like the decentralized digital like bank kind of right. They're talking about cross-border payments. Buying this allows them to provide leverage, right, for people that are using RLUSD, right, becomes the first stablecoin to enable efficient cross-margin, margining between digital assets and traditional markets, reinforcing its position as a premium enterprise-grade USD-backed stablecoin. Hidden road to migrate post-trade activity across XRP ledger, demonstrating its potential to go to blockchain for institutional decentralized finance. This is big. I will say this is the big part, right? Institutions are already excited about DeFi. They're already using DeFi. We see them heavily in Solana and some other blockchains, and in Sui and a bunch of others. But the whole point is they want this to be the go-to blockchain solution for DeFi for institutions. And I think that Ripple actually has a pretty big chance. They're already trying to be the consistent stablecoin and cross-border payments, right? Dollar. So I think this is probably pretty big.
This reinforces my thesis about why would they use XRP when they can use RLUSD?
Yeah.
Why would you use an asset that fluctuates when you can use a stable coin on the same network for the same gas? And it says right here, RLUSD becomes the first stable coin to enable efficient cross-margining between digital assets and traditional markets. So that means they're already using RLUSD to bridge the gap, to create margin on one or the other side. You know what I mean? On the digital asset side from traditional market. So it doesn't. That's why I think the narrative about XRP is wrong.
You can't be doing that. Can't be raining on everybody's parade. I think it's going to be massively used. I think XRP is going to be a champion, a massive leader when it comes to cross-border payments because they have a clear use case. And I think that having DeFi on them just makes sense.
That's
why
not XRP though?
What do you
That's the XRPL.
Okay, you're right. Okay, but I'm saying I can understand their network being used massively by a lot of people. And I think that having DeFi along with the cross-border payments dollars, the RLUSD that they've already created, I think that this is a massive step for having that international kind of I don't know. I had a word in my mind that was going to sound crazy, but it's like that middle place in between all of the countries and all of the financial sectors where everybody can take part in their DeFi. So I think
the green zone.
The green zone. Yes.
The green zone. And I agree. I agree with that when it comes to Ripple. I just think XRP is going to be delegated to a gas token.
Yeah. It's possible.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I think that thesis is not the worst. What I will say, though, is Ethereum's game, Avagachi, will dump Polygon and move to Base. And this is interesting because we've been seeing a lot of these movements, people moving from Ethereum and going to Base. Moving from Polygon and going to Base. And this is crazy because Polygon was the biggest titan for acquiring games. They had one of the most incredible business development and game incubating programs. And so Avagachi has a big name. Oh my god. It's about to move to Base. Also, on that same note, my favorite game, Sunflower Land, was on Polygon and moved to Ronin. So,
all right.
Ethereum is not all it's cracked up to be. And Base.
Ronin
and Base.
So ever since Aaron brought up that game, NFL Rivals,
for
the phone.
Have you been playing it?
I've been playing the shit out of it, bro.
You like it?
I like it. But I don't know what he's talking about. So you collect cards and everything like that and you build your team, but was he saying it's going to go on chain? or it is on
I think
chain,
it is.
or
It is on chain. It just doesn't
because
feel
there's
like
no
it.
way to like connect a wallet or anything that I've seen. I haven't seen anything to that extent, but maybe I'm just not exploring it enough.
I will say that like Sunflower Land, you didn't have to have a wallet or anything. But later, once you're like kind of like figuring it out, they encourage you to connect your wallet for bonuses.
Oh, okay.
So
I'll
they
have
might.
to look into it. I just been playing it. I haven't really dug into it and looked
Yeah.
through the whole ecosystem, you know.
All right, guys. Well, that was what I got. That was basically what we got here today. Not a whole lot going on in the market as far as news because everybody is running, screaming, and they feel like their house is on fire because 104%, the very thought out number that is going to be put on China as a tariff, is frightening everybody. The whole market is frightened. And I want to give a shout out to Third Patriot because what he was saying in the trading group, I believe that this is an orchestrated plan by Trump to crash the market, to get quantitative easing and everything much quicker, and then kind of like turn it around. Right.
Well, that's what people have been saying, that he wants to crash the bond market and that'll force rate cuts or something like that.
And it'll also
Then-
bring the prices down and bring investment into the U.S.
Right.
is the thought.
Yeah, the company line or the narrative that they're spinning is to bring work back to America, which is good. And it will bring industry. We've already seen certain companies talking about, Rolls-Royce is talking about opening
Honda.
a shop, Honda.
1.4 billion or something.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of companies that are already talking about moving to the US, at least for the US market, right? And refinancing the 9.2 trillion of debt at a lower interest rate for sure. So, yeah, there's going to be pain, and I don't know, we're all going to feel pain. I know home mortgage rates or housing prices have already went up because of tariffs. I guarantee the owner of my company is flipping his wig right now, especially, I don't know if he knows about the 104%, but he was flipping out over the 20. Well, it just happened today though, and he's not a
but he sat down after work. He turned on the television and nothing else was talking about anything else. Because that was what I said. I don't pay attention to that stuff on purpose. We look at the news related to crypto every night and every day. But like the regular news, don't pay attention to it. Last chance to get your Temu order in. That is exactly right. And ironically, my wife wants me to order so much things from China, and like now it's kind of like, what if it's not practical? What if it doesn't make sense?
But if you're sending it straight to Honduras,
not sending it to the US is cheaper. Well, it was cheaper.
It might not be cheaper anymore.
I'm saying. I'm gonna have to get a address somewhere else, like get it shipped to Europe. Wait, we have some people in here. I think. Well, not in here. Who's in Australia? Well, that might not be cheaper either. That's pretty far.
Right.
Man, I don't know what we're gonna do.
I do think it's funny that. So, I'm not going to get into it. That's politics, but you do know. I will say one thing. You notice nobody's talking about the 100% tariff that China put on Canada about 3 weeks ago? Not one peep, not one iota.
No. You have to watch what BBC. You have to watch like outside news. You have to go outside of the country, which this goes back to the TikTok
No,
ban,
but
man.
Canada hasn't said one word about the 100% tariff that China put on them, but they freaked out over the 25% that Trump put on them.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm gonna have to do deeper. UST. Oh, just in. President Trump signed executive order increasing tariff on China to 104, effective tomorrow.
Well, effective at midnight tonight.
Yeah, I better get that Temu order in.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
It's too late. It's too late.
It's
and Xi said he won't back down. Trump said he won't back down, but it's all just posturing. It's all just posturing. So,
well, I mean, they can't look like the weak one.
Right. No, of course.
They have to get in the room together and then come out and be like, okay, well, we agreed on this. So,
right.
Well, actually, no. G's going to come out and he's going to be
There
like,
already
I freaking
is.
told him this is what's going to happen. And then Trump's going to come out. I went in there and I said, this is the deal. And then, you know what I mean? They're both going to come out like champions.
And everybody's putting the spotlight on this China thing and the 104%. Another thing nobody's talking about is all the countries that have already come to the table to talk about their how they can, appease Trump and make this better for them. Vietnam's come to the table. South Korea's come to the table. South Africa's come to the table. I think the EU has come to the table. So there's already dozens and dozens of countries that have come to the table about this. So, but everybody wants the 104% on China. I mean, I guess it makes sense. China's our biggest, got the biggest GDP. So,
what I will say is, I hope it works, and I hope all the pain that we go through together is worth it. So, I mean, like, I don't really care. I think in the long run we'll figure it out. But man.
Right.
It is going to be hard.
Short-term pain, long-term gain.
Yeah.
But let's get into this. I've already cussed too many times tonight. So let's get into this ish show. Introducing the relaunch of JPEG Boss Mint, a game changer in the NFT world. This isn't just another mint. It's a community-governed project where you hold the power. Here's the deal. 50% of all mint funds fuel a community investment wallet controlled by boss holders like you, driving collective growth. The proceeds, 60%, go straight back to active participants, rewarding your engagement. 20% powers overhead and expansion. And the final 20% flows to JPEG Empire until the seed funding's repaid. Join the revolution, mint with purpose, govern the future, and reap the reward. Boom. And look at this. It happened while we were on stream, but we hit a low of 74,553. And even though we've recovered a little bit, we are setting a lower low. So this is still a massive downtrend. Lower high, so you know what I mean? Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So we're probably going to go to 67. Or going to land somewhere in this box and maybe bounce from there. But it is not looking good. It doesn't look like there's an end in sight. I said it last night. Even though we were getting a pump, just in an Ethereum wallet possibly linked to President Trump's crypto project, WorldFi has sold. Makes sense. But basically, like I was saying last night, don't let the rally or the pump make you think we're back. We're going to get a lot of pumps, but we're still in a downtrend. And exactly what happened, we pumped last night, and then everything turned, and the bottom fell out today. And as you can see, money flow to the downside. VWAP is going up, but it's starting to curve in It's not going up in a straight line. It's curving in. So I expect that it's probably going to roll over. Momentum to the downside. Stokes, RSI, almost reset, but definitely to the downside. So there is I don't even think there's any trades right now. I mean, because if you were shorting, you've already missed the move. And I definitely wouldn't open a long right now, for sure. I would be looking at this. If we lose on SWE, coming into SWE, if we lose 189, we're at 191.61 right now. We've already wicked below. But if we lose this on the daily or on any time frame, we're going to 173. This is the daily. And look, there's a big volume gap right there, right up to 173, right? So we are definitely going lower, in my opinion. We might get a bounce, but it's still to the downside. Looking at Cardano. So we just lost a major level of support on Cardano, and that is 59 cents, right? So we don't have any support till maybe, what's that, 45 right there? It pumped so hard, so quick right here that we just opened up this big liquidity gap. And it looks like it's not even it's down here at about, that high volume node's at about 43. So it would not surprise me to see Cardano hit 43 in the next couple days, especially if we can't get above 59 cents. There's no way that we can start progressing to the upside. So it's all downhill from here, folks. You know, XRP lost a major level of support at 189, now targeting 147. And this is the daily, same thing as ADA. That massive move created a huge liquidity gap. If you look over here on the volume profile with the high volume node down here at 147. So looking at Bitcoin, we already know about Bitcoin. Same thing. This little high volume node right here is saving us right now. If we lose this, we're going to roll right up this hill, about 67. Like I said, we could stop somewhere in here. And if we just go through the charts, they all look at that. I would say that on Aptos is a massive head and shoulders, but I don't know how it could go any lower. So yeah, I don't think there's a measured move off of that. I mean, maybe to zero. FET, same thing. I mean, a lot of these coins are almost at their bottoms, just for the simple fact that it can't really go any lower. But that's still a big move. Like on FET right here, 38. Come on. That's not what I wanted. My bad. What is going on here? There we go. So even from here to the bottom, why is it not doing anything? Give me the damn thing. There we go. I guess it could drop another 70%. That's 70%, I guess. But yeah, there's nothing really down here to hold up FET. So I don't know. I don't really have. Why is my computer just glitching? Look at that. Same with Psy. I mean, the bottom is down here at 9 cents. We're at 14. You know, looking at Sol. Sol has definitely lost the fib retracement. It's got a big gap right here. So we're right here. The next high volume node is at about 71. So be careful, everybody. It is definitely a good day to DCA. Can it go lower? Of course it can go lower. But that's why you DCA and you don't throw your whole bag in it. And this will pass. I still expect Q3, Q4. I think this will get taken care of over the next 3-4 months, and we'll start to see a change in sentiment. And according to like Tech Dev and all these guys, the liquidity is shooting through the roof. Global liquidity is shooting through the roof. So as long as this gets fixed, this whole tariff thing, it's the tariff thing that's scaring the market. It's not a problem with liquidity in the market. It's a problem with people deploying liquidity into the market. So once this gets changed, it's going to act like a spring. The more and more you compress a spring, the more violent it's going to be. Anybody who's ever done shocks or struts on a vehicle, you know how deadly a spring can be once it's compressed and it expands. So that's what I'd be looking at. I'm just DCAing. I'm sure John's DCAing. And as long as you believe in crypto, this too shall pass. It does look like we're getting a little bounce off of Bitcoin. Let's see here. So we are getting a little bit of a V-shaped recovery on the 5-minute. You can see we dumped all the way down, 75 and some change, or 74, 500 and some change. But it's getting rejected by the 21. This could just be a little fake pump, a little bull trap, and start coming back down. 1 minute, yeah, see, look, the 1 minute's getting rejected from the 200. Super bearish. You know, if we're lucky, we'll get a bounce off of the 21 and try to reclaim the 200 on the 1 minute. But Stokes reset, bull trap on what? On what time frame? I don't have the Stokes up here. I mean, I have this Stoke on. You know, I think I'm going to get away from Market Cipher because a lot of people don't have Market Cipher. So I might go back to the, at least for this, you know what I mean? For Crypto Nightly. So where we at? 5 minute, 7, 15, 30, 1 hour. So 1 hour. So yeah, the Stokes are reset on the 1 hour, but we could stay down here for a while. We've seen this. If we go back, you can see that it can stay down here. We can get a little blip up and then drop back down. You know, you got to be real careful. You need confluence when you're trading. So just because the Stokes have reset, what's the RSI look like? What's the volume look like? Where are you at on your moving averages? Because if you're losing the 200 and the Stokes are reset, that's the opposite of confluence. You know, those are antithema to each other because price action is moving lower than your moving average, but your stochastics are reset. So it's not a 1-for-1 RSI pump, Stoke pump, and the price goes up. You know what I mean? You guys have seen the price will go up for Bitcoin like $500, but the Stokes will go through a whole cycle. You know what I mean? So you got to look for the confluence on everything. But 1 hour's reset, 2 hours bottomed out, and getting a little clip right here. But when we look at that, money flow is still to the downside. The RSI or the VWAP is rounding in on itself. It's not a straight shot up like right here. You see, like this one goes straight up, straight up, straight up, right? It's more rounding off. And we've seen this on the tops. You know, let me see if I can find an example. Can't really find an example right now. Not really seeing one. But either way, the fact that it's rounding in on itself, it tells me that it's probably going to roll over. See how it's flattening out like that. So just be careful, everybody. I wouldn't be opening any longs. I would be wary of any shorts, bull traps. This is the craziest market I've ever seen. You know, granted, I've only been in crypto for 5 years. This is still the craziest price action I've ever seen in those 5 years. And I've traded on and off the entire 5 years. So over 5 years now. I mean, I'm well over 5 years now. So I'm just saying, be careful. That's all we really got. That's your update for tonight. I know John's got a hard out. And stay Safu, everybody.
Stay Safu. And, DCA, and just keep stacking. The market is going to do what it does. But like I was saying last night, crypto always recovers before the actual market recovers. So
yes.
It's definitely more reactive, but, quick.
DCA is the way high conviction plays. Okay, you don't DCA into Sonic, Inu, whatever. You know what I mean? There's a reason in the DCA portfolio I haven't been picking up meme coins. You guys notice that everything I've been DCAing into are like L1s or DEXs or something like infrastructure, plays with utility, And if I miss a move on a freaking whatever, do not buy wine. Red wine, hooker blow, gold, Ollie Inu on Algorand.
Oil. Yeah.
All right.
Good night, guys. We'll see you tomorrow night. Every night, 6 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday. We bring you the daily news nightly. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you guys for hanging out. We'll give you an update. Hopefully, we don't go to zero. But who knows? It could go up, could go down.
Introducing the relaunch of JPEG Boss Mint, a game changer in the NFT world. This isn't just another mint. It's a community-governed project where you hold the power. Here's the deal. 50% of all mint funds feel a community investment wallet controlled by boss holders like you, driving collective growth. The proceeds, 60%, go straight back to active participants, rewarding your engagement. 20% powers overhead and expansion. And the final 20% flows to JPEG Empire until the seed funding's repaid. Join the revolution, mint with purpose, govern the future, and reap the rewards.